The biggest mineral deficiency that we have in this country that we never talk about, it's iodine. Now, the whole idea with iodine is that it's supposed to be just nonchalant. It's in iodized salt. Like, we shouldn't have to worry about it, right? That's why it's in iodized salt. But because it's so out of sight, out of mind, and because we've lost the importance of it, because it's been so normalized, we now have a deficiency issue. There is a study that demonstrated that about 2 billion people in the world are iodine deficient. 2 billion. And about 50 plus million are so deficient that they have clinical symptoms, like they are clinically deficient. We're going to talk about what to recognize. There's very specific things to recognize. And we're going to talk about important ways to restore iodine levels and how to go about doing it strategically. I also popped a link down below for a company called Timeline and MitoPure that has a patented technology. It's been published in JAMA to induce mitophagy. Definitely recommend you check them out and learn a little bit more, but I popped a link down below. It's a product called MitoPure by Timeline. There's a 10% off discount link code there, Thomas10 at timelinenutrition.com/Thomas. And again, like, has nothing to do with being contrived with this video. It's a thoughtful mention of something that makes sense. They've been a sponsor on this channel before, so I do recommend you check them out. At the very least, just like read up on it and see if it's something that is appealing to you. So that link is down below, top line of the description underneath this video. So the first thing that you want to do, like above all else, don't freak out, is look at yourself in the mirror and look at your neck. If you start seeing that you have this like goiter-like thing forming, that's a problem. Now, you don't have a full-blown goiter, but it has to start somewhere, right? So when your thyroid becomes inflamed, it starts to put pressure one way or the other. It'll put pressure outward, or it can put pressure inward. Now, what happens with this is you have either something visible, like what happened with Tarek from the show Flip or Flop. What happened with him is he had thyroid cancer, but he never noticed it because he sees himself every day. And one of his viewers noticed it, and they pointed out that, hey, wait a minute, like your neck looks swollen. Turned out he had cancer, but point is, same kind of thing happens all the time. Hey, your neck looks kind of swollen, what's going on? But you may not notice it there. If you constantly have like a hoarse voice, or if you feel like you're wheezing a lot more, your airway's obstructed, you're coughing when you're laying down a lot, take a look at your diet, okay? But also stack it up with other symptoms, okay? So typically we're affecting the thyroid. Iodine is required for the conversion into active T3 thyroid hormone. So when you go from TSH into T4 into T3, and T3 is responsible not just for a lot of attributes of your metabolism, but a myriad of other things in the body. Whether it's regulating your temperature, it has to do with your hair. So overactive thyroid, you would be super energetic and all wired up. Underactive thyroid, a lot of times you're sluggish, your hair gets thinner, your skin gets really bad, you're cold all the time. But the interesting thing is with iodine deficiencies is because you're not producing thyroid, you're typically hypothyroid. But once you go to the extreme and your thyroid starts to malfunction, a lot of times TSH levels will elevate. This can cause sporadic kind of spurts from the thyroid. So you might have fluctuations in temperature. You feel hot, you feel cold, you feel hot, you feel cold. Your hair's getting thinner, it's getting flaky, it's getting dry. Very important things. The other piece you have to look at is, are you having weight loss and then weight gain? Weight loss and then water retention. Losing weight, losing strength, and then retaining water. Puffiness, but then you lose weight, then even gain weight. It's back and forth all the time. Shortness of breath. Okay, like you're having a hard time actually getting oxygen. Okay, another big thing is heart palpitations. You're feeling like your heart rate is all over the place. This again is driven by the thyroids, driven by this mineral deficiency, this iodine deficiency. So let's talk about how to get it. I don't recommend you just go take an iodine supplement unless your physician has instructed you to do so. That can be a pretty heavy hammer to drop. Okay, first and foremost, having some kelp or having a seaweed snack. 1 gram of seaweed snacks, literally just 1 gram, is going to give you 10 times the amount of iodine you need for a day. The hard part is that iodine depletes fast. Okay, so what I would recommend with something like seaweed is treat seaweed as a supplement and have it twice per week, just 1 packet of it. And that's it, that's all you need. Straight up nori or something like that, a little packet of seaweed twice per week religiously as sort of a supplement. The other thing is simple eggs. Eggs are one of the most tremendous sources of iodine as well. So you're getting 16 to 20% iodine in 1 egg yolk.
Okay, so you gotta eat the yolk, you can't just do the white. Okay, the other thing that you might wanna consider is going to be any kind of dairy. Particularly fermented dairy seems to be a good source of iodine as well. So fermented dairy, also fish tend to be a good source of iodine. Some of the shellfish particularly have some iodine in them as well. So things like scallops, things like clams, mussels, things like that. So you don't wanna necessarily keep iodine levels going high all the time. Okay, usually want to opt for like a 2 times per week sort of dosing strategy. So try to have shellfish twice per week. Try to have good source of dairy and eggs at least 2 times per week. But again, if you're looking at 15% or so in one egg, you'd have to have 5, 6, 7 eggs to get yourself the accurate amount for one day. So you're probably not eating 5 eggs per day realistically. I mean, I would, but most people probably aren't. So the seaweed thing becomes a very real thing. But most importantly, keep an eye out for the symptoms and don't just go pop an iodine capsule or tab. There is such thing as too much iodine as well. So as always, keep it locked in here on my channel. See you tomorrow.